Hey, what's going on everyone? MBG here. Thanks for checking out the video today. I do appreciate it. So in today's video, let's have a discussion about what we can really expect to see graphically when it comes to Project Scorpio. Now, it's obviously no secret that I talk about Scorpio a lot on my channel. I'm a big Xbox fan, but on top of that, I am very excited for Scorpio. I've expressed this numerous times on my channel. And I know that there are a lot of other people out there who are just as excited as I am, if not possibly even more excited for this console. Now, I try to keep my expectations in check with this console because after all, things are going to be done very differently this time around. This is not a new generation. They're taking steps forward to kind of say it's the end of generations and we are entering a new age of console gaming, and it's very interesting, and it's really, really cool to see both Sony and Microsoft taking this different approach that, it could work out in the end, or it may end up being a complete failure. We don't know yet. A few things we do know is that Scorpio is coming. It's going to be the most powerful console on the market. We don't know the price yet. We do know that it will play Xbox One games that you've owned prior. It's like backwards compatible, and it will work with all of your existing peripherals and accessories. So that's awesome. Now, the question here is how much of a difference is all of this power really going to make when it comes down to, what this is all about? Gaming. When you boot up your console and you start a game, is it going to matter? Are the differences going to be there? Are you going to be able to, if you're somebody like me who's been playing on a regular Xbox One, when I upgrade to Scorpio, if I'm playing on a 4K HDR panel, how much of a difference am I really going to see? Is it going to be big enough to where I say, wow, this is very impressive and I am glad I upgraded? Or could it end up being something where it's like, I'm having a struggle actually seeing a difference here. Is this it? This is what I paid $400, $500, $600 for on top of, in my case, upgrading to a 4K monitor or panel. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully there are major differences that we see with games. This is, I think, what people are going to be looking out for the most when it comes to Scorpio because, let's face it, the whole idea of a mid-gen refresh isn't that appealing. I think it's been kind of proven with the PS4 Pro, and I'm not bashing it, don't take it that way, but I'm just simply saying it didn't light the world on fire, and it didn't get people as excited as you would think. And, that's not a problem. I mean, this is, after all, uncharted territory, so who knows what Sony's expectations are? Who knows what Microsoft's expectations are? I mean, Phil Spencer himself said that he's expecting the Xbox One S to continue to sell the most and basically sell better than Project Scorpio. But at the same time, there is always that chance that if Project Scorpio ends up being a big hit, it could sell better than maybe anybody was expecting. Kind of similar. I don't want to compare it to the regular PS4 because there are a lot of reasons why the regular PS4 is selling as well as it is right now. But there was actually an interesting quote from Phil Spencer, and I want to recite this quote back to you guys because it in a way, it doesn't directly answer the question when it comes down to the nitty-gritty details, but it's coming from the man himself. It's coming from the guy who's running this ship over there at Xbox and the guy who greenlit Project Scorpio. And, I'm going to read it to you. So it says, and this comes from GameSpot. I will link the article in the description below so you guys can check it out for yourself if you're interested. It says, during the podcast, they're referring to Podcast Unlocked, which he recently was a guest on, Spencer discussed Project Scorpio, which launches this holiday, specifically talking about the graphical quality that it will deliver. So here begins the quote. I am very confident in the quality that I've seen from the games that we're launching and how they look on Scorpio. When people see games on Scorpio, for those that are close to the detail, they're going to see a demonstrable difference between that and the games that they're playing now on any console. I know that content has to be the thing that we use to demonstrate the capability of the box. Now, this is a pretty significant thing he said, in my opinion, because, using the word demonstrable, which is a word that I don't really hear used basically ever, he's pretty much saying that you are absolutely going to notice the difference. Now, he did say, though, it's for the people that are close to the detail, so that is important as well. So what he's saying that, the chances of just the average regular person being able to see a clear night and day difference, not so much. That probably won't be the case here. But for people who are involved and, like he said in that podcast as well, who know the difference between 4K and 1080p and HDR and all of these things, we should see a pretty clear difference between what we're seeing running on Project Scorpio versus the PS4, the PS4 Pro, and the Xbox One S and the regular Xbox One. Now, we're not talking about PC here, obviously. We're keeping that out of this discussion. This is about console gaming, after all. And to me, that is exciting. It's interesting. And this is where the question arises, like, well, is he just saying this? I mean, he is the head of Xbox. He's not going to say anything bad about it. But he does seem very confident. He does... he seems like he has confidence in the quality, the graphical fidelity, the enhancements we're going to see on Scorpio, but he also seems confident in the game's lineup. And I've said this over and over and over again, that there are certainly things going on behind the scenes that we just simply are not aware of. Games that are, third-party games that are being developed on Scorpio, that are being developed for Scorpio, that will take full advantage of Scorpio. That's going to be a big deal. And that's going to be, I think, very important for Scorpio, because if right now there are a lot of projects in the works at Microsoft for Xbox, when it comes to exclusive games or partnerships or possibly even cultivating new studios from the ground up, which would be amazing, and I hope that's something that's going on behind the scenes that we learn about within the next year or two. If they're, deciding to double down on first-party projects and, making their own studios, creating new studios from the ground up, and tasking them with making exclusive games for the platform, there's going to have to be something that carries this console. And we will still get exclusive games, obviously. I'm not saying we're getting zero exclusives. We just might end up getting a little bit less than we were expecting within the next year or two, because, like I said, if they have a lot of things going on, they can't rush it out. The best thing to do is to, they need to give developers and studios the time they need to create the best possible games they can. And in that meantime, in order to keep Xbox relevant, Scorpio's power is going to have to matter to a certain extent. And I think the best way Microsoft can play this card and continue to make the power matter is not go crazy with it. You don't want to make it seem like power is everything, because it's not. But if games are noticeably and, just noticeably different to an extent where it kind of catches people off guard, or maybe, pleasantly surprises people with just how much different they are running on Scorpio compared to other consoles on the market, that could really go a long way. Third party is going to be absolutely essential for the success of Scorpio and the Xbox brand going forward. And, we're probably going to see games like State of Decay 2 and Crackdown 3 and possibly some other games we don't know about right now being demoed on Scorpio hardware. And the question is, are they going to show a comparison? Are they going to show this is what the game looks like running on, Project Scorpio, and then this is what the game looks like running on an Xbox One S? I think we will see that, and it'll be tough. The thing that's going to be important is the enhancements we see are going to have to go beyond just 4K, because let's say you're somebody, that a lot of people out there do just have 1080p TVs. Are they going to want to upgrade to Scorpio? It's going to be important for Microsoft to let those people know why, that the improvements you see will be more than just a higher resolution. And I've said this before. And it's going to be important that when we see these games being demoed on Scorpio, that people with 1080 TVs or 1080p panels, that they can see a clear difference as well. And that comes in the form of graphical fidelity, shaders, lighting, texture quality, all of this stuff that will be very important to show that, hey, look at what else this console can do for games. Just putting the focus on purely 4K and HDR will be important, and it will matter, but that can't be the only thing. And I think Phil Spencer is aware of this. I think that's what he is really getting at with this quote here is that he's just trying to explain, without getting into too much detail, that, you know, Scorpio has enough power to where it's going to be more than just a higher resolution. It's going to be more than just 4K. And 4K will be a big part of it, but it's going to have a lot more benefit for games in more ways than one. So yeah, that's really all I wanted this video to be, guys. I just wanted to kind of talk about this quote, and it was interesting to me to hear this, and this is stuff that we're going to continue to hear until we get down to the nitty-gritty detail of what Scorpio is and what exactly it will be doing for games in the future. But that's really going to do it for the video, guys. I would love to know your thoughts about this in the comments below. What kind of major differences do you think Scorpio will make for certain games? Do you think that we can really expect to see a lot of native 4K games, or do you think that it'll mostly just be enhancements in other areas such as lighting and texture quality and all those things? Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would be greatly appreciated as always. And if you are new and haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel if you want more Xbox and gaming related content just like this. But until next time, guys, take care.